Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Courtside with Coach Crist. I'm Greg Crist, along with Dave Gorby. Joining me tonight in place of Justin Harrison, who's flown the coop on us. I think he had some work responsibilities he had to take care of, so he's out of town. Coach Gorby, kind enough to come in and set in Justin's spot, and I do appreciate that. And we coming to you tonight from a neat place here in Fayetteville. We are at Studio B. It's on 309 Keller Avenue here in Fayetteville, West Virginia. And if you get an opportunity to stop into this place, you ought to take advantage of it. Pretty cool place, huh, Gore?
Exactly. Like, I never knew about this place, and nice little setup right here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You can see behind us, that some of the selection they have of wines, but they sell craft beer. They have local made and other craft beers. They have a fine wine selection and a wide wine selection as well. Again, you can see part of it behind us. There's also shelves over here and over here, stock full. So if you like wine, come on out and get you a jug. Looks good. I don't drink wine, but looks pretty. And got some other cool stuff here too. They have. Cooler up back here with gourmet cheeses and meats in it that you can't get anywhere else, I understand, except for the Capital Market down in Charleston. So you want your gourmet cheeses and meats, you come in here and snag them up and look awful good. I've never had any of those either, but I'm not very culturized, I haven't had any gourmet cheeses or meats or wines.
Just put that American cheese on the burger.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, those kind you pull out of the plastic slices and slap it on your burger. That's my cheese there. So, but I'm sure I'd like this too. I've never tried it. So, also they sell T-shirts. They have a shop. They sell T-shirts, jewelry, other unique gifts, and a lot of locally made products, honey, stuff like that. It's just a cool place. It just got all kind of neat things in here, and it's a fun place just to come in and look around. I've been in here several times, and we thought of her today about be a cool place to do the show from, and we got a hold of Sarah, and Sarah's nice enough. She's the owner. She's nice enough to let us come in and set up shop here. We don't have a lot of room, so if you notice me and Dave kind of being still, we're scared to death. This is supposedly the high dollar wine selection behind us. And I said, of all places for that to be with me and Big Dave sitting here together, this could be get ugly before the night's over. So if you see us sitting stiff, you'll know why. We don't want to knock any of the fine wines out into the fine floor, have a fine mess on our hands, and Dave have to pay for all that. I'd hate that.
Yeah, just me.
I would hate that. Anyway, Studio B here in Fayetteville. Stop on by, give her a visit. Nice little shop here. Got a lot of neat things in it. Tonight, of course, we like to explain what the show is every night. And for those people tuning in for the first time, we like to do a little local high school sports show. Recognize some of our local athletes and, from Fayette County mostly, but we also dip over into Raleigh County, some in Greenbrier County. So we like to cover them all, but mainly we're geared toward high schools and high school players and high school students. And that's what our show's about. Occasionally we'll throw in, another interview from somebody outside the realm of high school athletics, but usually we don't, unless it's just somebody, a big name we can land, Major Harris or somebody like that. We try to keep it on the high school level. So, that's what we try to do. If you have, people you would like to recognize or that you may want to tell us about, get out and watch them, let us know. And we'll go check them out. We can't see everybody. We try, we cover as many games as we can. And, of course, limited with going to Oak Hill games. And that's why we're doing the show tonight. Oak Hill plays tomorrow night. And of course, my son plays, so I prefer to go watch him rather than do this. So we normally do this on Thursday nights. We're doing it on Wednesday. It will be recorded though, so you'll be able to watch it on Thursday, like always, if that's your preference. And I hope that is your preference, that you just like to watch it. That's the preference we want. And anyway, we always have a high school coach or high school player, somebody on the interview. Then we like to do a little segment with Rusty Udy. Rusty does what we call Rusty Nails It, and Rusty gets on and talks about everything going on around the whole area in high school sports. And as you know, Dave, if anybody knows about it, Rusty knows about it.
He's definitely the one to go around here.
Yep, if it's high school sports, then Rusty is he is spot on with it, and that's where we came up with the name Rusty Nails It, because he talked about volleyball, and
Yeah.
he gets
Yeah.
he knows who the players are, he knows who the teams are, who the good teams are. Is what I'm trying to say. And like I said, he nails it.
I've seen him at cross country meets.
No, he don't miss
and
anything.
He knows it. Yeah.
I've never seen anybody. I said, I don't know how you ever go to bed and get any sleep, because you're at every high school sporting event that ever existed. And like I said, it doesn't matter if it's volleyball, cross country, basketball, he's there. And as a matter of fact, when we talk to him tonight, he'll be talking to us from the Raleigh County Armory, the convention center. They're having a tournament over there, and I'm guarantee you he's sitting right there. So I'll have to get him in the hallway and talk to him tonight on the show. So we look forward to having Rusty on. And also want to remind everybody that if you'd like to help us out here and keep this going, we do sell sponsorships, and we run commercials and everything just like a regular TV show. It's on Roku TV. It's on Facebook Live. It's also shown on Channel 5 on Suddenlink over in Lewisburg area. And that's going to be expanded before long. And so, if you're looking for a place to run some commercials that people would appreciate you doing, because it's supporting the high school athletics around this area, then give somebody a call here. Give Darren a call. Give me a call. Send us a text message. Put it on our Facebook page. However you want to contact us. We're not hard to find. So we don't hide from anybody, especially if I got a checkbook. We ain't hiding. And we're not ESPN by any stretch of the imagination. We don't have that type of viewership, obviously, but we do get a good bit of viewership in our area and outside the area, for that matter. And on our games, we get a lot of viewership. Darren does a great job with the equipment and the picture, and I don't even know what all he does, but I know I watch them, and they're good, high quality, and he does a great job with the technical part of things. So if you want to get on and advertise, feel free to get in contact with one of us and let us know. And I'll just say this to you: people appreciate in the area, they appreciate these places that support our schools and our high school athletics and our kids. So try to remember that. Join us. Get in here get on the action. Tonight we're going to look at some stories of interest, of course. Talk about a few things that we normally talk about. We've got some scores. We got some top tens in girls and boys in each class. We're going to go over. We'll look at some of the scores from last night and the night before. Also, we're going to talk a little bit of Greater Beckley basketball. We have Coach Justin Arvon on with us. Talking a little bit about his first go around as head coach of Greater Beckley, and he's so far doing a good job. So we want to get him on here and talk to him a little bit about how it's going in that first year, and as things been like he expected, and all that sort of thing. They've got a really good basketball team over there, but I think a lot of people have noticed, and Rusty and I talked about this last week, at single A level, it's pretty daggone good.
Yeah, you throw them. West has a good team with the Pack Kid, and then Tuck Valley, and then Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Man is super good.
Man got beat the other night.
Yeah.
But, it took every bit of Logan. To get over them, and Logan's a big AAA team.
Yep. You got Tug Valley in there sneaking around. There's some good teams that these guys are playing. I know. And
then James Monroe's pretty good too. Savage kid.
Yeah, James Monroe. In fact, beat Greater Beckley pretty handily a couple weeks ago. I know you can't always go by that, but. They are a good basketball team from what we understand, so it could be interesting. Speaking of our local basketball games, last night the Oak Hill Red Devils headed over to Mercer County, and in my mind pulled an upset. Maybe not in Coach Gorby's mind or Coach Benitez Jackson's mind, but to me it seemed like an upset. That team beat Oak Hill first game of the year pretty handily, really, and the score wasn't bad, but
no.
The game, if you watched it, wasn't close.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Definitely. It was the second half. Made difference. But I think just coming off those 2.5 weeks and not doing anything,
right?
And that was the product we put out. And I think I probably would accept that every time.
Oh yeah, they come out and played last night very well, and ended up beating Pikeview by 11. I think the final was, and you guys. You played good, and I thought, as just my opinion, team-wise, I thought was the best effort I'd seen all season from Oak Hill.
Yeah, I think Vargo Thomas was probably the main kid last night.
Yep.
I think it was because he hit his first shot last night,
Right.
And it kind of got him going. He's one of our guards. He's expected to handle the ball with him
Right.
and Lewis, and I thought those two really handled it real well last night.
Yeah.
And always Purdue. He makes his three.
Oh, yeah.
Makes his threes, and I think that's expected.
Yeah.
But I thought Vargo Thomas was a key factor last night.
No, I thought so too, and he played very well, and there was a obvious size advantage for Pikeview, but I thought Oak Hill's kids, I thought you played pretty good defense. They boxed out well and tried. They didn't.
Craddock, he kept that big 32 off the boards.
Yep. They got some offensive rebounds, but with that size advantage, it should have been a lot worse than what it was. And I just thought, as a team effort, everybody, other than Vargo, everybody just played a good steady game. Nothing outstanding, nothing overwhelming, nothing that you'd sit back and go, whoa. I was talking to Sammy last night. He played pretty good the first half, played terrible the second half, and but Trey Foster went in and picked up the slack, played well.
He had a big shot right there in the lane.
Well, he's usually a scorer, but last night he didn't really shoot a whole lot.
No.
He made that one big shot in the lane, 2-pointer, but he played pretty good defense and he rebounded pretty well. And so he come in and did his thing. I thought that. Let me get my names going here. I just drew a blank. Maynard. Cade Maynard. I couldn't remember the name. I was wanting to call him McCabe. Cade Maynard played, he struggled a little bit early in the season and just seemed to be a little bit off kilter. And he come in last night and I thought, did pretty well. He rebounded. He scored a few buckets and, he did a pretty good job. So I thought he had one of his better games last night. And, like I said, Purdue's going to hit his shots. He's going to make his points. But I just thought all the other kids around Vargo Thomas, I thought, played just a steady game. Everybody just played. Yeah. Nobody played horrible. Everybody played good.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do to go on the road and get a win.
Yeah, and that's a nice win.
For a young team,
right.
That's something to build on.
Yep, that's a very nice win, I thought. And, Pikeview played Greenbrier East the night before. Greenbrier East beat them by 4, if you want to go to score hopping and comparing. So that's a little bit of a surprise that they're able to do it. And these guys, I've said this all along. Coach Jackson and I've talked about this. This bunch of kids they're very coachable. They listen. They just go out and do what they're told. They try to do what they're told. They may not always do it. They try to. And, they're just a good bunch of kids, and they work hard. And what else can you ask for?
That's from the top to the very bottom.
Yeah,
from the
JV
right. team, too. Yep. They try to do everything you ask them to do.
Yep, sure do. And that's kind of, as a coach, you can't ask for anything else. That's what you want to do. I've always said, some of your best teams you might coach may be the most unfun coaching jobs you have, and vice versa. Because it just depends on the kids, and these guys are going to be good eventually. They're just young right now. You don't have anybody other than Purdue out there. You don't really have anybody that has much varsity experience. No. And they're stepping into that 4A, taking on these bigger teams, and they're holding their own, man. They're they're doing good, doing better than what I ever thought they would. Anyway, enough of that. We'll be talking again, of course, to Justin Arvon, as I said earlier, Greater Beckley head coach. Rusty Udy later on in the show in the Rusty Nails It segment. Also, as we interview Coach Arvon, we'll go ahead and give him a heads up now. We'll start a new little interview segment that we're going to do. We're going to call it Shooting the Three. And what we're going to do is give him 3 off-the-wall questions, have him answer those in at least 30 seconds or less. And if he fails to answer them timely, adequately, then he'll suffer consequences.
There we go.
So, and we're going to start that segment tonight with Coach Arvon, so we'll go ahead and give him a heads up that that's going to be coming at the end of the interview, so you better get ready. I'm not going to do Rusty that way because Rusty's liable to cuss me out and say, I'm not playing your games. But we'll do that with Justin. Hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun that everybody will enjoy. So I know I'm looking forward to asking him the questions. I think it'll be fun. Ask Gladwell one last week. What was it? Remember. But I can tell you mine. I can juggle. never gained a penny from it, but hey,
yeah.
so pretty useless, really. So, yeah. Anyway, what's yours? Play the harmonica?
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Oh, no.
Touch your elbow with your tongue?
If you got to try to get me to do that right now, that is a definite no.
Well, you can think on it and you get back with us here in a little bit what your most useless talent is. All right, as we start the show tonight, we start off on a little bit of a sad note. I meant to mention this last Thursday and let it slip by me. Time got away from me before I had a chance to read this, but Meadowbridge Wildcat great. It had been a good time to read this because we had Mark Gladwell on the Meadowbridge coach last week. Jack Redden passed away week before last, and he was known as Bone Crusher. And I didn't know that. I knew who he was, but I didn't know he was known as Bone Crusher.
Yeah.
He played fullback and linebacker for the 1958 Class A state championship football team at Meadowbridge. He was a 1958 Class A honorable mention All-State member. Then he had two sons that went on to play at Greenbrier West, and both of those sons were honorable mention All-State football players at Greenbrier West. So there you go. So thoughts with his family, and again, meant to read that last week, and I let it get by me. Time got away from me before I could get it on the air, and then on the way home I remembered it. Like forgot to do that. So, also, back to a good note, we want to mention our Gino's Pizza Athlete of the Week. Our Gino's Pizza Athlete of the Week this week. Coach Gorby, probably familiar with her as well. And you notice I said her. We went and did Oak Hill Woodrow girls game Monday night, and we chose Samaya Lynch as our Gino's Pizza Athlete of the Week. And Samaya had 13 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and a blocked shot against a team that was huge and athletic and good. And she held her own against those guys. Woodrow Wilson girls team, something else. I mean, they had two or three girls over 6 foot, and they got the France girl from here in Fayetteville. They've got the other girl from Fayetteville, Fenton girl. I can't remember any names tonight for some reason, but they've got her. There's another, I think, a Conley girl that plays as well. I don't think she played the other night, but good basketball teams, and so tickled to death for Samaya. She come in, like I said, and played well, and did some good stuff. So we congratulate her for being the Athlete of the Week. So she'll get a certificate from Gino's. She'll get, I think, a little something from Tutors, and she'll get a nice certificate as well. I think get a free pizza in there, and we'll be contacting them about that. Yeah. So
hopefully her brother Diedrich doesn't try to steal that thing.
I used to make him promise to give me part of it, but I don't know.
Hey, the first thing you talk about Diedrich, that's the first thing when you see her, you notice that she's definitely taller than.
Yeah, most definitely. All right. So with that being said, let us get a quick break in here. When we come back, we'll be talking to Justin Arvon, the head basketball coach at Greater Beckley Christian, and we'll get him on the line here as we go into break, and we'll be back with him after these messages. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist, Greg Crist, Dave Gorby, bringing the show to you tonight from Studio B here in Fayetteville, West Virginia on 309 Keller Avenue, right here in Fayetteville. And pretty neat little place. If you ever get a chance to stop into Studio B, you ought to give it a shot. They have craft beer, local and other craft beers. They have a wine selection. They do mix and match 6-packs of the craft beer that they have. They have gourmet meats and cheeses that they sell. The only place you can get it is here and down in Charleston at the market down there, the open market. Yep. They also have T-shirts, jewelry, other unique gifts, and a lot of locally made products. So it's a pretty cool place. If you get a chance, you ought to stop in and check it out. Right now, we're lucky enough to be joined by Justin Arvon. Justin is the head coach at Greater Beckley. And Justin's taking in some basketball tonight, as you can hear in the background. He's watching Greenbrier West and Webster County. What a lot of people are watching on Channel 5 and Suddenlink over in Lewisburg. It's on right now, which we're usually on, but due to the internet issues, we're not going to be on there until later on tonight. Anyway, Coach Arvon, we appreciate you joining us. And right off the bat, I want to ask you, I haven't had a chance to talk to you much since this season started. It's been such a crazy season already. But I hadn't had a chance to ask you, how's things going so far? It's your first year at the helm. You took over from longtime head coach Brian Helton, and you're the man in charge now. And how's all that working out for you?
Well, it's a different experience for sure, but it's a lot of fun. We have a really good group of kids and parents, and make it a real enjoyable experience for me. And I'm just blessed to be a part of the program and these kids' lives, and I hope have a good impact on them moving forward.
We've been, I know, wondering about you, and we've been kind of trying to keep an eye on your team. We know you got a really good basketball team, and I know you, like everyone else, it seems like, is struggling with the COVID, and that's been a big problem for a lot of schools in the area. And you guys haven't gotten to play a whole lot of games yet, but so far. Looking at your schedule, you're obviously playing a tough schedule. But how do you think so far things are going for you? And what are you trying to do to battle this? I know, like I said, this COVID thing's got everybody one way or the other. How's that been? I mean, what do you do?
Well, there's not much you can do. We were quarantined here for 2 weeks after the Magnolia game.
Right.
We played them, won that game in Charleston, and then that evening, or the next day, I'm sorry, we had a positive rapid test, I believe it was. So we had to quarantine for 2 weeks, and you can't get the kids in the gym, and
can't do anything.
Can't play. So no.
Well, if it means anything to you, went and watched Oak Hill's team play last night. They've been quarantined for 2 weeks, and they practiced a little bit Sunday and a little bit Monday, and played probably their best game of the season last night. So that can give you some hope right there. And
right, exactly.
Yeah. You guys are again, this schedule. I've been looking at your schedule, and that thing is pretty loaded up. You go, you take on Shady Spring on April the 1st, rather. What is that? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow night. You got Shady Springs at home, and then you go to Independence. You play Tug Valley, you play Mount View, you play George Washington. Just looking at the schedule, James Monroe. I don't know if, I was looking at that thing today, and I thought to myself, I don't know if he's made this schedule because he knew they were going to be good and he wanted that tough competition to make his guys better, or if he's looking at Brian Helton and saying, you knew you were going to quit. Why did you do this to me? So I didn't know exactly how that worked out for you.
Oh, yeah, of course I've made those jokes to him, but no, we're glad. This is the kind of schedule we want to play. We do have a good team, but just like anybody else, if we don't show up or we're not prepared, it could not go our way one night, right. And that's about every game we have. We have no gimmies, but it prepares our kids for what used to be March. I guess it's May now.
Yeah.
So,
well, I looked at it. I think it's a good schedule, and if you're going to be good, you got to be able to play with good teams, and it's not going to do anything but make you better. And win or lose, you can learn a lot from losing a game. A lot of things that you need to work on, and if you play good teams, those things will get exposed. So, it's not a bad thing always to lose games. And I think looking back on my coaching time, there were a lot of games that were good for us that we lost, and
Absolutely is, yeah.
Yeah, it helps you, and again, you find your weaknesses, and I think you guys, like I said, are a good basketball team, and that good schedule is going to do nothing but help you, and I think it's a good thing. You guys, again, really good. Have to be considered one of the elite, I think, Class A teams. And you've played some good teams. I'm sure you've scouted enough, seen plenty of the good teams around. What do you think about where you guys fit in that top 10 single A teams in the state?
Well, I think we definitely belong in that conversation. But like I was saying earlier, I believe the top. I mean, really, there's not a bad team in that top 10 in single A. Yep. It's a pretty stout group.
Yep.
You've got a lot of capable teams that can knock anybody off at any day in that group. So I think it basically depends on the day which team shows up and which team doesn't. And, I think you'll see that play out throughout the rest of this season. We'll be matching up with a few of them, and they've been matching up with each other already.
Yep.
And have some surprising scores every now and then. I'm watching a surprising score right now here in Webster County and Greenbrier West.
Yep.
But I know this score could flip. I mean, if they play again. So.
That's right. Yeah, go ahead and tell us the score.
The score is 75-46 Webster's. Wow. 4 seconds left.
Yep. And that's going to be to a lot of people, that's going to be a shocker, a surprise, because Greenbrier West is an awful good team. But like you said, any given night, it could be, it could be the other way around. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I know, I've talked about this a couple of times on the show. Last week I talked about this. I spoken to Brian last summer, and after they come out with the new classifications, and I told Brian, I said, Brian, I said that single A really looks like the hit tournament with you guys added into it. He's like, yeah, it kind of does. But then after I started looking at it, and I thought, wait a minute, that's a pretty good team right there. There's another pretty good team. There's another one. There's another one. I ended up looking at about 10 teams. I'm like, wait a minute, this don't look like the hit tournament. This is a good. This Class A is good, and
it's good. Unfortunately for us too, if you look throughout Class A, there you start reading off these team names. There's only a couple of them in the top 10 that aren't in our section. And region.
Right. So Rusty, Rusty Udy and I talked about that last week. Unfortunately, there's going to be a couple teams get knocked out in that region, and that's too bad. This whole thing was designed to keep that from happening, and but now it may be making it worse. Not so sure.
Just one of those years.
Yeah.
How it is.
Yep. Just one of those years where got a lot of good teams. Talk about your team a little bit. I mean, I know I'm familiar with your kids, and I've seen them play enough basketball over the years to know who the good ones are. And I know coaches hate doing this, but talk a little bit about the kids that you have on your team, who your leaders are, and who you depend on every night. And I know that music's kind of loud for you, but
I'm heading right out to the hallway now.
Game wasn't loud at all, but the music they turn on between games is just drive you crazy. Anyway, I don't know if you heard me or not, but talk a little bit about some of the kids you have, some of your leaders, and who you're dependent on to get you through this tough schedule.
Well, I'm going to start with our senior. We've got one, Ezra Drumheller. He's a really, really good kid. He's a grown man in a lot of aspects of life already, and he's just a great leader for us. He can shoot the ball, he can defend, and he's always going to give his best effort. So he's our no doubt leader. Then, of course, you've got junior Caden Smallwood, our guard. We love having the ball in his hands. Good decision maker, good shooter, good player. He's going to play the next level. He's a young junior as well. Then you have Jordan McGinnis, another junior, and BJ Mitchell. BJ's a guard. He likes to say he's 5'5". I write him down as 5'8", though. And Jordan's a pretty solid 6'9", skilled big man. And we're happy with both of their effort and leadership and ability. And so we've got some good upperclassmen, and then we've got some younger kids as well that kind of feed off of those guys. So we're excited about it.
Pretty good mix there. So if you were going to, I've seen your kids play and I've watched them enough over the years, but if you were going to describe to someone who hasn't seen your team play this year, give us a description of your team, as not necessarily names, but your style of play, what you're trying to do, what your philosophy is. Has it changed a whole lot from past years with Coach Helton? But tell us a little bit about your team. Just describe them.
Okay, well, I think anyone that's watched us play over the last few years, that we like to get out on the break. We like to run the ball up and down the floor. We play a pretty stingy man-to-man defense is what we that's our core defensive mindset and philosophy is man-to-man, don't give up a lot of penetration type of defensive mindset. And then offensively, we want to rebound the ball and just get out and run. Then we've got, if we can't do that, we have some offensive sets to go to. But we like to get up and down the floor, exciting basketball. Kids enjoy that. They might not enjoy what it takes in practice to get to be able to do that for 32 minutes, but that's how we like to play.
Awesome. Looking forward to watching you guys and looking forward to seeing you work your way through this good schedule. It's going to be fun, and we just hope the COVID stays away from us long enough till we can get it done. But
absolutely.
Also, Coach, you are the lucky guinea pig tonight. We're starting a new segment, and I talked about it at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you were listening or not, but we're starting a new segment with our interviewers and our interviewees where we're going to do a little segment called Shoot the Three. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions, just random questions, and you got 30 seconds to answer them. If you don't answer them in a timely fashion and they don't make sense, then you're going to have to suffer the awful consequences of not covering your time. So are you ready to answer these 3 questions?
I'm ready to go.
All right, the first one is, and this is an easy one, what was your favorite TV show growing up?
Ooh, Family Matters.
Family Matters. You got the clock running, don't you, Gorb?
Yeah.
All right. What is the best and worst purchases you've ever made?
Can you say that again?
What is the best and worst purchases you've ever made?
Ooh. Okay. Worst purchase is very easy. That was my first brand new vehicle. Very easy. Shouldn't have done it. The best purchase I ever made was the engagement ring I gave to my wife.
Awesome, man. What a charmer. Score some points for that. We'll give you an extra 10 seconds for that answer.
Exactly.
All right, and the last one. If you had to lose a body part, what part wouldn't you mind losing?
Oh, goodness. My left foot. I don't feel like I use that.
Okay. Wasn't expecting that. I was thinking finger, ear, not a foot.
Oh, well, that would make more sense. Yeah, I guess we could use the fingers. Left pinky finger.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you, man, and thanks for playing along with our silliness. And we appreciate you being able to come on the show tonight, talk a little bit about your basketball team. We're looking forward to watching these guys. We think if we get a play, you guys are in for a good run, I think, and we're looking forward to seeing it. So we appreciate you. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Justin Arvon, head coach at Greater Beckley, and we appreciate Justin playing along with our silliness and our foolishness, and that was fun.
Yeah.
It did surprise me with the losing the foot, though. I was like, a little drastic here. I guess when you get
his left foot.
Yeah, his left foot. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he still wants to punt the ball or something. I don't know. So anyway, Coach Arvon, so far so good up there at Greater Beckley. They've only got to play 4 games. That's the sad part. And we were looking forward. We were going over and watching play some games, and next thing you know, bam! What happened to them was probably worse than what's happened to Oak Hill. What happened to them was they were good to go and had teams that were coming in that canceled out. Had a couple of those in a row.
Oh, it was like a couple of days in a row. It wasn't like a Tuesday, Friday thing. It was like back to back nights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they lost out on those, and then they got a game in, and then come back and they got a positive test. So then they're out for 2 weeks. So they, really probably missed 3 whole weeks there with one game stuck in, and that's unfortunate for them because they're going to be a pretty good team. James Monroe beat them awful bad, but that's what I was talking about. Sometimes you have a good loss. That was probably a good loss for them. They come right back and defeated Magnolia after that, who's a good basketball team. So, a tough situation, man, with this coronavirus sneaking around everywhere, man. You don't know when it's going to hit people, and, it's just wiping people out, and it's just making the schedules so hard to get done. So, best of luck to those guys. And I'll be honest with you, I was shocked when Brian Helton gave that up. I didn't know he was
I didn't
considering that.
Coaches – except for one little small period of time.
Yeah.
Coaches always had that. And, wonder why I call him coach, because he was my coach for 1 year.
Yep.
And then that's when he went up to Greater Beckley. Was my junior.
Yeah, I think it was junior year.
Junior year. It was my junior year.
Yep.
And,
I know one thing I said when I lost him I, as an assistant, I said, that's going to be one good high school basketball coach right there because he knows what he's doing. He understands the game. He gets along well with kids. You know, he knows how to do it. And you know, I'm sure he has a lot of irons in the fire. He does all these businesses he's taking care of and all that kind of stuff.
And Justin was one of his. I can't remember. You know, Justin was right there at that time period.
Right. Maybe played for him.
Right to start. Right to start.
Right.
And for I guarantee you know he kind of say he's proud to have what kids he has and all that, but just being an alumni at school, he's probably proud. Just that's probably a position he's always looked up to have.
Oh yeah, know, so. Look at something that he would like to obtain. Yep. So good for him and good for Greater Beckley. I hope they get to play that schedule because I'd like to see how it turns out because like I said, that's a loaded up schedule, man. And, you know, they've got, like I said, Shady Spring on there a couple of times. They got James Monroe on there, George Washington, Tug Valley. I mean, they got some teams at Tug Valley. Yep. And then they play in their Christian athletic tournament. So, but anyway, Justin over there watching the New River, what is that, CTC or something tournament that they're having over at the Armory tonight. So appreciate him taking some time to goof off with us here a little bit. All right, let's get us a quick break in here. When we come back, we'll be making another call to the Raleigh County Armory where we'll get a hold of Rusty Udy and talk to Rusty a little bit about what's been going on, who's been getting to play. He'll fill us in on what he's seeing so far. I'm sure he's here this past week. Probably got to see a lot of basketball because teams have been getting to play some. So I'm sure Rusty's taking quite a bit of it in. So we'll get Rusty on here with the Rusty Nails It segment after the commercial break. So stay with us. Greg Crist along with Dave Gorby. We appreciate you joining us on Courtside with Coach Crist tonight. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist, Greg Crist, along with Dave Gorby joining me tonight in place of Justin Harrison, who's out on assignment. And we're lucky enough now. We talked to Coach Arvon over in the Armory and had all that rap music going on. Now we got Rusty Udy on. And Rusty, when you took over the phone, the noise kind of stopped, man. I think they saw you getting up, and I think they turned it down, man. Sounds pretty good now. But
I was gonna say, Justin's got to learn the little secret places here at the Armory to kind of hide.
There you go. I said, I imagine
Justin's still a rookie. That's the problem.
That's right. He hadn't learned anything
Right.
yet. That's right. All right, we have Rusty on. You know, Rusty Nails It. That's our segment that we do at the end of the show each week. Rusty, as always, I'm gonna give to you, so we're not trying to talk back and forth over top each other. Tell us a little bit about some of the games you've been seeing, some of the people you've been seeing, and I know COVID it's lightened up a little bit for us in some places, but some places it's getting worse. But we at least did get to see some games this week. So tell us a little bit about what you've seen and what you see going forward.
Well, I mean, tonight I'm at the, of course, it's what we always, the old people call the Armory.
Yep, that's what I just called it.
The Raleigh County Convention Center.
Yep.
But it's day one of the New River CPC Invitational that the folks at New River put on. Always a great tournament, a lot of good basketball. Tonight we've already seen. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and call it an upset because a lot of times you don't know what you're going to get with Webster County because they're kind of put up there in the corner just a little bit out of our area that we watch. But they just took it to Greenbrier West tonight. Just kind of outplayed them, out-hustled them, and Greenbrier West had a tough night shooting the basketball. One of those nights where the lid kind of seemed to be on the rim a little bit. But I mean, Webster County's no joke. I mean, they not only they have two of the better scorers in the state, and on the boys and the girls side. I mean, Rygad went for 27 tonight, and that kid's a legit player, and he's going to be a college player. There's no doubt about that. And they got a young lady on the other side, that Sydney Baird, who's picked up a ton of numbers up there. So the one thing about the folks in Webster County, they're very efficient. They know how to run their game, and we know Mike Grace coaches a little bit. So they got a pretty good team up there. So that kind of poses another dynamic as we talked to in Class A. In the Region 3, Region 4, how tough it is down here.
Yep.
Because they really handled Greenbrier West tonight. And, honestly, the game was not close because Webster broke out like a 10-0 run to start the second quarter, kept it in double digits, and the game really pretty much stayed there the rest of the night. And it just kind of got away from Greenbrier West at the end. So, it's interesting. I mean, I was really a little surprised. Of course, I was surprised it was that big a margin. But, that team looked really efficient in Webster, especially when, you factor in we haven't played a lot of games and, to run their offense as efficiently as they did. I mean, that was a pretty impressive performance by Coach Gray's squad.
Right.
Last night I was in what some like to call the heartbeat of basketball in Southern West Virginia, down in Wyoming County, and got to watch a little bit of the Wyoming East West Side matchup, and the Greenbrier West tough loss tonight. They get Westside tomorrow, and Westside's now seem to kind of have found himself just a little bit after a tough week where they really got kind of hammered by Shady. They kind of found it against Tug Valley last week and knocked Tug Valley off. We know how hard it is to beat those kids. Yeah. So they beat them and Wyoming East back to back. They'll have Greenbrier West tomorrow. I mean, right now, the folks that are down the west side are pretty excited. Coach Jenkins is pretty excited about his squad, and they're playing really well. I got to see Woodrow play George Washington last week. Kind of looked like Woodrow was going to kind of break out of the Goldens just a little bit, but then they turned around, had a really bad shooting night against South Charleston, and kind of went back to the old ways just a little bit. But they're supposed to get the Redfern kid back this week, and hey, they're going to need him because, quite honestly, this weekend is going to be rough and tumble. They play Cabell Midland and Morgantown back to back, and Morgantown's probably they may be the best team in the state as far as the Quad A goes. They're the team that finally beat Robert C. Byrd, broke their about 30-some game winning streak. So, Coach Tallman's team is really, really good. So, if Woodrow doesn't find something, they can really being the first struggle this weekend. But
Right.
there's a lot of good basketball coming up, and Friday, everything starts like at 1 o'clock, so everything starts at 1 o'clock. A ton of top-ranked teams in the state are going to be here. Some really good girls matchups. Morgantown and Woodrow are going to play. Morgantown and Cabot Midland are going to play. There's just a ton of good basketball. If you've been itching to get out and play, there's about 700 people that get allowed into the game. So this is the time to come and watch it. And you can space out in the Armory pretty easy.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say you have plenty of room to socially distance, so there's not any reason not to go, man. I bet you're in glory land over there, man. Don't have to go nowhere to sit there and watch the games.
Well, it's been so long since everything's been so out of whack.
Yep.
It kind of feels a little more normal, where you kind of sit here and just watch the games and stuff. But you still have that specter hanging over you. I know the folks down in Summers County, the girls down in Summers County, they're done for the season now. They're quarantined until sectional start because of COVID issues. So you just sit on pins and needles, hoping it doesn't happen to these kids. But it's one thing if everybody gets knocked out, that's bad enough. But it's kind of like in football where you were playing, and then you kind of have that opportunity stolen from you. That seems to be a little worse. I just hope that doesn't happen, but I'm afraid we're going to have that happen.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too confident about about making it through and everything staying normal. It's just too much going on right now with this thing. And, our kids at Oak Hill finally got cleared to play, and they played last night and played well, and it was great to see them back. But like I said, you just don't think it's going to last very long. That's the way I feel.
Yep.
And just get in what they can, But
I'm right there with you.
Again, they act shocked that a lot of young people are getting sick, and a lot of teams are closing down. But I said, once again, you put everybody in the same buildings together 5 days a week. I'm not exactly sure what you expected to happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
That's it. I'm no dummy, but I'm not. I could see this one coming.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty easy to see.
Yeah, wasn't like it's some kind of big surprise, is it? Rusty, listen, man. I know you're busy over there. I hear them introducing for the next game, so I'm gonna let you get off here so you can get back to watching your game. Soak in as much of it as you can, and hopefully it'll keep going, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, always fun to talk to you, brother.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself.
All right, buddy.
All right, Rusty Udy and Rusty Nails It. That's our Rusty Nails It segment. Mm-hmm. And Rusty always does a great job. It's kind of hard to hear him there. He had told me he was going to be over there tonight, which I knew he would be. But it worked out where we caught him right when the game was over. So, of course, like I said, I think that's noisier than when there's a game going on because no music's playing, nothing's blaring in the background, So, but we appreciate Rusty always coming on and doing the Rusty Nails It segment for us, and we appreciate Studio B for having us tonight. Again, located right here on Keller Avenue, 309 Keller Avenue here in Fayetteville. The phone number here, 304-574-9100. They have a lot of different craft beers here, local and craft beers. They have fine wine. They have a wide selection of wines, as you can see behind us. That's one part of it. There's another section over here in front of us. So they got all kinds of different wine selections if you're interested in that. They have 6-packs of this craft and local craft beer that you can mix and match your own 6-pack. In other words, you don't come in, you don't have to buy a 6-pack of all the same thing. You can mix them up and get 6 different craft beers if you want to. They also have gourmet cheeses and meats in the cooler, stuff you can't get anywhere but here. And from what I understand, down at the Capitol Market in Charleston, they sell T-shirts, jewelry, unique gifts, other locally made products. So got all kind of neat stuff here.
Yeah, definitely a nice little place.
Yep, come on in and check it out. Before we get off here, we had mentioned early in the first segment that we were going to talk a little bit about it, and we're not going to talk a lot about it. We're just going to go through it. The boys' AP top 10 poll came out yesterday, as it does each week, and we wanted to go through that real quickly for you, both the girls and the boys' side. And the boys' side, in Class 4A or Quad, whatever they're calling it, you got Morgantown leading the way, and like Rusty said, probably best team in the state, so they should be number 1 in 4A. Makes perfectly good sense, huh?
Yep.
So Huntington number 2, GW 3, Cabell Midland 4, University 5, Martinsburg 6, Greenbrier East in at number 7, South Charleston 8, Wheeling Park 9, and Jefferson in at 10. Not a whole lot different than what you used to see in AAA every week.
Yep.
In the AAA ranks, Robert C. Byrd is number 1, Fairmont Senior 2, Shady Spring 3, Nitro in at number 4, Wheeling Central 5. So Wheeling Central bumped up to that AAA level as well, much like Midland Trail. Logan is number 6, Herbert Hoover 7, North Marion 8, Notre Dame 9, and Grafton number 10. And AA, you got Williamstown, Charleston Catholic, and Polka tied for 2 and 3. St. Mary's number 4, Magnolia 5, Clay County in at number 6. Number 7, Ravenswood, 8, Chapmanville, 9, Wyoming East, and 10, Braxton County. See a lot of familiar names in these, that were in the other classes that are, which makes sense. In Class A, the one we've been talking about a lot tonight, Man in at number 1, awful good team there from what we're hearing. Pendleton County number 2. Don't know anything about Pendleton. Haven't heard anything about Pendleton, so I don't really know much about them. James Monroe, we hear, is mighty good. And at number 3, Tug Valley, a good basketball team at 4. Clay Battelle, number 5. Greenbrier West, number 6. Webster County, number 7. I think that might flip-flop a little bit, after tonight. Greenbrier West loses to Webster close to 30. I think it was a 28-point difference. Greater Beckley, number 8. Tulsa, 9. And Cameron, number 10. In the girls' side of things, Quad A, Huntington 1, Wheeling Park 2, Cabell Midland 3, Morgantown 4, GW 5, Woodrow number 6. We saw them Monday night here on the Greenbrier Valley Channel, and we called that game against Oak Hill. They are a good team. Capital number 7, Bridgeport 8, University and Parkersburg tied at number 10. In Class AAA, Fairmont Senior, North Marion, Wayne, Nitro, St. Joseph, Logan, East Fairmont, Pikeview, and Lincoln County Midland Trail tied in there at number 10. We've done a Midland Trail game as well.
So St. Joe bumped up to AAA.
St. Joe went up. Yep. So we're seeing some of these teams, Wheeling Central, St. Joe, and Midland Trail, moving up up the ladder because they thought, obviously they looked at it and thought, probably not going to be as tough in that class. I know that's what Midland Trail looked at. Thought there's no way they can survive in the AA. They'll move up to the AAA. So in single A. Wait a minute, did I do the double A? Yeah. Double A, Parkersburg Catholic, St. Mary's, Frankfort, Wyoming East at 4, Mingo Central 5, Summers County 6, and we understand Summers County has been, Summers, he said, shut down until the tournament. Yep. So too bad for them, unfortunate. Charleston Catholic number 7, Williamstown 8, Ritchie County 9, Trinity Inn at 10. In Class A, Gilmer County lost their first game of the year last week. Tucker County number 2, Webster County 3, Calhoun 4, Cameron 5, James Monroe 6, Tug Valley 7, Riverview 8, Tulsa 9, and Sherman comes in at number 10 to round out the top 10 there. All right, let's get us a quick break in here. When we come back, we'll wrap things up for another Courtside, and we appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Dave Gorvey, appreciate him coming in and helping me out and place of Justin tonight. So we want to thank everybody for all that. So stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap things up here in just 1 minute. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back to Courtside with Coach Crist, Greg Crist, along with Dave Gorby. Back to wrap things up here for another week of Courtside. We appreciate everyone that's tuned in and everyone that's tuning in tonight. We thank you. We'll let you know what we got coming up as far as games we're going to try to cover. Again, we don't know from one day to the next who's going to be shutting down. getting quarantined, all that. You just don't know. So we're hopeful we can hang on, Dave.
Yeah.
We don't. You don't know. I mean, it's just this thing's just it's spreading in some places, getting better in other places. So you don't really know. And again, like what's happening to a lot of teams is they may not be shutting down, but the teams that are supposed to play get shut down. So then they lose a game. Then before you know it, they have to shut down. And it just turns into a nightmare. And I think we're seeing a lot of that starting to unfold in places, and it's getting tougher and tougher each week to get games in. So anyway. With that depressing news, we'll tell you that wherever we're going to be, we'll try to alert you on Facebook and on our Twitter pages and all that to let you know what game we'll be covering or what games we'll be covering. We'll let you know that as soon as we possibly can. Also, I don't know what Oak Hill's schedule looks like. If they're not playing Thursday, we'll be back with the Courtside show Thursday night, and if they are playing Thursday, we'll get another night next week to have that show. So it's hard for us to give a plan.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. I think Woodrow's definitely one of the games next week.
Right.
I think we play Bluefield We play Bluefield this Saturday,
right.
But I think we play them again next
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
But I think there's another game in there somewhere, and I can't think off the top of my head.
Well, we'll be letting you know. We'll try to keep everybody posted, and
because I'm focused on Nicholas County.
There you go. That's right. Not thinking ahead, are you?
Yeah.
Not thinking ahead. Good answer. Anyway, we'll try to keep you posted and keep you updated on what we're doing, and we're going to do as much as we can. You know, we just, like I said, we just don't know what's going to happen, so we'll do our best to keep you updated. Also want to thank again Studio B for having us. Studio B located here in 309 Keller Avenue in Oak Hill, or Fayetteville rather. The number here 574-9100, 304-574-9100. Again, that's 309 Keller Avenue, Fayetteville, West Virginia. Again, they have craft beer, local and craft beer. They mix and match your 6-packs when you get them. They have 5 fine wines. Have a wide selection of wines. You can see part of it behind us, a lot of it in front of us. If that's your thing, they got a nice selection here. They have gourmet cheeses and meats that they only sell here and down at the Capitol Market in Charleston. They do T-shirts, jewelry, unique gifts. They also have a lot of local products in here, local things that people make that they sell, so that's pretty cool as well. And they got more. They got other stuff in here as well. So if you get a chance to stop by Studio B, show them some love because it's a pretty cool place. I think you'll like it in here. Dave, I think you like it in here, don't you?
Yeah. Like I told you, I never knew about this place till today when we were coming over here. And this is definitely a nice little shop to just come and visit.
Come and check out. And
exactly.
I think we're both happy because we got through it so far without breaking anything.
Yeah.
So we're happy for that. Yeah, knock on wood if we can find some wood. All right, that's going to do it for Courtside with Coach Crist tonight again. For Dave Gorby, I'm Greg Crist. We appreciate Dave joining us, and we appreciate you for tuning in. We look forward to talking to you next week. We'll let you know. Stay tuned, and good night, everybody.